February retail inflation slows to 8.1% from 8.79% in January. Industrial production grows at 0.1% in January. And the World Wide Web turns 25. Its inventor says there is need to protect the independence of the web. Well, hello and welcome to Business Wrap. I'm Sidhant Sibal and let's begin the bulletin with the news from the stock markets. The markets ended the session with small gains. Sensex ended the session at 21,856, up 30 points. Nifty ended the session at 6,517, up just 5 points. Weakness in the global markets also dampened sentiment. Selective pharma, FMCG and consumer durable and banking stocks were in demand, while capital goods, refinery, auto and power stocks registered losses. Gainers on the chart were Sun Pharma, Hero MotoCorp, ITC, Coal India and TCS, which were up by between 4 to 1%. Losers on the chart were BHEL, Tata Motors, Hindalco, SBI and ONGC, which were down by between 3 to 2%. The market breadth indicating the overall health of the market was negative. On to action from the global stocks. European stocks dropped on Wednesday as companies from Tod's SPA to G4S PLC reported worse than forecast results. Key benchmark indices in France, Germany and UK shed by between 0.83% to 1.25%. On to Asian stocks. Asian stocks also fell on Wednesday on concerns that China's economy may be faltering. Key benchmark indices in China, Indonesia, South Korea, Hong Kong, Taiwan, Singapore and Japan were off by between 0.17% to 2.59%. On to news from the Mint Street. Rupee closed down by 28 paise to close at 61.22 against the US dollar. Meanwhile, Barclays has said that rupee may appreciate to 59 versus the dollar in next 1 month. On to some macroeconomic numbers. Annual consumer price inflation eased more than expected to a 25-month low of 8.1% in February, held by moderating food prices. February retail inflation slowed to 8.1% from 8.79% in January. Food prices for consumers rose 8.57% last month from a year earlier, slower than January's provisional 9.90% rise. On to IIP is slowing a little sign of recovery. The industrial output grew for the first time in 4 months, gaining 0.1% in January. Industrial output was higher during January as mining and electricity sectors performed marginally better. Factory output measured in the terms of index of industrial production had dropped by 0.6% in December, registering a contraction for the third straight month. Mining sector output in January increased by 0.7% from a deceleration of 1.8% in the corresponding period of last year. Electricity sector output rose by 6.5% in January from 6.4% in the corresponding period of 2013. However, manufacturing sector declined by 0.7% in the month under review from an increase of 2.7% in January 2013. Well, time for a short break. More after this break.
किरण, हैप्पी बर्थडे। हमारा घर।
हैप्पी बर्थडे मम्मा।
तुम्हें कैसे पता?
रोज बोलती थी ना, हमारा घर हमारा घर।
SBI होम लोन्स में हम भी पढ़ लेते हैं आपके मन की बात, इसलिए हमने इंटरेस्ट रेट्स किए हैं कम, खासकर महिलाओं के लिए। SBI होम लोन्स।
हाँ।
चलते समय लाइट ऑफ करते हैं और मैं हंसते समय। काश मेरे घर वालों को ये बात समझ आ जाए।
बिजली बचाइए, एक घर और रोशन बनाइए।
Hi, welcome back. Now news from the aviation sector. The airfare war is reignited. SpiceJet and Indigo unleashed their bout of discount ahead of Holi. SpiceJet initially cut its fare off as part of Super Holi scheme, forcing Indigo to repeat the same. SpiceJet announced a 5-day sale on yesterday, offering fares at an all-inclusive price of 1,999 rupees for travel between April 14th to June 30th. The offer will last for 5 days. Lowest fares are for bookings made 90 days prior to travel, and all bookings under this offer require minimum 30 days advance purchase. On the other side, Indigo also follows suit by slashing fares on select routes on its website. Meanwhile, SpiceJet has ordered 42 of Boeing 737 MAX aircraft in a deal worth about $4.4 billion at list prices. Shares of SpiceJet, India's fourth biggest airline by market share, rose 7% after the news was announced. The budget airline is hopeful its fleet renewal will bring in new investors. To date, SpiceJet has ordered about 90 aircraft from Boeing, of which 31 have already been delivered. Boeing said in a statement that the delivery of the 737 MAX to customers will start in 2017. Continuing with the aviation news, global airlines body IATA today projected lower profits for carriers in Asia-Pacific region, saying turmoil in foreign exchange markets in India had affected growth prospects for the aviation industry, maintaining that Asia-Pacific airline were expected to post a profit of $3.7 billion. The IATA in its financial forecast said the profits of airlines in this region in 2014 would be $400 million less than previous projection. But IATA forecast an improvement in the global cargo market, with airlines in Asia Pacific having the largest shares. Meanwhile, back home, Air India chairman and managing director Rohit Nandan today said that Air India has no plans to phase out the Dreamliner aircraft from its fleet. Remember, there have been a spate of incidents involving the Dreamliner aircraft recently. Well, it was exactly 25 years ago today that a proposal was sent internally at a research company in Switzerland that was about to change the world. The World Wide Web turned 25 today, and there's a lot of chatter about the state of internet today, especially in the light of revelations last year about massive worldwide surveillance on nearly all online activity. Tim Berners-Lee, the inventor of the World Wide Web, says that a web gives power to the people. He marked the 25th anniversary of his invention with a call for more global access to the web.
His invention was groundbreaking, a way for different people to share information using different computers. It was called the World Wide Web, and it was invented by British computer scientist Tim Berners-Lee 25 years ago this month. Not to be confused with the Internet, which is the network of globally interconnected computers, the World Wide Web is how people share information on the Internet. The idea came to Berners-Lee while he was working at the CERN Physics Laboratory in Geneva, Switzerland.
Well, it was in 1989, and the Internet already existed in that you could send email, but there was no websites, so there was no HTTP, there was no HTML, there was no space or things you could click through. And it began because I was frustrated it didn't exist. The existing systems that you had to log on to they were all different, they were hard.
25 years ago, Berners-Lee wrote down his idea using a complex design of arrows, boxes, circles and bubbles. He proposed that idea in March of 1989. In 1992, using a Next computer, the first website was published. It was called World Wide Web. 25 years on, billions of people around the world share information, photos and status updates using the web. While the web has connected people from all over the world, it has also created new global challenges such as balancing openness, security and privacy.
We've thrived using the web, with it being an open medium, that so anybody could connect to anything. You put it on a website and then I can connect to it no matter who I am. We need to, at this point, it's 25 years we need to think about the next 25 years to make sure that we establish the principles that the web's being based on.
The ease of sharing information on the web has helped to empower people. Recently, the world witnessed how websites like Twitter and Facebook were used to coordinate political protests in Egypt and other parts of the world. Berners-Lee said he would like the 25-year anniversary of the World Wide Web to motivate people to decide the future of the web. He said the web was also and will always be a global project. Berners-Lee said that he would like to see the World Wide Web be accessible and affordable for everyone in the world. He established the World Wide Web Foundation and leads the World Wide Consortium. According to the World Wide Web Consortium, only about 2 out of 5 people in the world are now connected to the web. Business Bureau, DD News.
Well, 25 years and still growing strong. Well, time for a short break. More after this break.
लाइफ है प्यारी सी जी लो हंसी खुशी हो प्लानिंग करो अब लाइफ की
LIC के न्यू एंडोमेंट प्लान में पाइए बचत के साथ सुरक्षा भी।
सेविंग्स करो इंश्योरेंस पाओ घर अपने खुशियाँ ले आओ।
IRDA clarifies to public that IRDA audits officials do not involve in activities like sale of any kind of insurance or financial products nor invest premiums. IRDA does not announce any bonus. Public receiving such phone calls are requested to lodge a police complaint along with details of phone call number.
क्या आप कुछ छुपा तो नहीं रहे? प्रॉपर्टी ट्रांजैक्शन, कैश डिपॉजिट, बिग परचेजेस, परचेज ऑफ शेयर्स, बॉन्ड्स एंड डिबेंचर्स, कुछ छुपाइए नहीं, क्योंकि हम सब जानते हैं। आयकर विभाग के नोटिस का इंतजार मत करिए, भरिए अपना एडवांस टैक्स ईमानदारी से इस महीने की 15 तारीख तक और बनिए भागीदार देश की प्रगति में।
Hi, welcome back. And now news from the courts. The Supreme Court will tomorrow hear Sahara Group's plea for release of its chief Subrata Roy. The court earlier agreed to hear the plea. Subrata Roy and other 2 directors of the company of Sahara Group have contended that the detention order by the Supreme Court is illegal. On the last day of the hearing, the Apex Court had rejected a proposal of Sahara Group to refund investors money worth 24,000 crore rupees in installments. The court had, however, permitted Sahara Group's lawyers and financial consultants to meet Roy to chalk out a plan to refund the money. Well, watchdog SEBI today tightened norms aimed at countering money laundering and terror financing through the capital markets and asked market entities to conduct detailed risk assessment of their clients, including those linked to countries facing international sanctions. The market intermediaries have also been told to appoint designated directors to ensure compliance with new norms, who could face penal actions for any lapses. Besides, the stock exchange have been asked to monitor the compliance of various entities through half-yearly internal audits and inspections and keep SEBI informed on these issues. On to the news from Malaysia, the Malaysian Airlines news. Search teams are searching waters of both the sides of the Malaysian peninsula amidst confusion over a missing Malaysian airplane's last unknown location. Malaysia's Air Force chief has denied reports that the plane was dragged to the Malacca Straits in the west. Vietnam has dispatched a plane to investigate an eyewitness report of a possible object burning in the sky east of Vietnam. Flight MH370 went missing on Saturday. It had 239 people on board.
Malaysian authorities have deployed a C-130 Hercules transport plane as part of its ongoing search for the missing Malaysian Airlines flight MH370 over waters in the Strait of Malacca region. The C-130 Hercules in service for the past 17 years to crew members as well as Hishamuddin Hussain, the country's defence minister and acting transport minister, to the region as search efforts entered its 5th day. After an hour-and-a-half long flight, the plane reached its destination as they proceeded to open a plane door to look down to the sea waters in signalling the beginning of rescue operations. According to the crew, the aerial search mostly relied on visual lookouts and thorough inspection. Once they find objects or any other sightings, a rescue ship positioned in nearby waters will be notified immediately to attend to the location to continue on the search and rescue efforts. However, they added it remains difficult to see regional waters with clear vision due to imposing sunlight, as inevitably the sea surface reflects the light. The search aircraft flew down to an altitude of 1,000 to 1,500 meters on Tuesday during a flight over the Strait of Malacca waters.
Situation, but when you're looking for something in this wide sea, it's a reality check how to find even a huge aircraft like a 777. But we must never give up hope.
According to the minister, currently 11 countries and regions including China and the United States are involved in the operation, with a total of 42 ships and 35 planes already in waters east and west side of Malaysia.
I never expected such fantastic support from all our neighbors. My main focus now is to find the airplane.
At present, Malaysia has expanded the scope of the rescue mission from 50 nautical miles to 100 nautical miles, circling the suspected crash site where the MH370 was last heard from. Search works have also been launched in parts of a nearby dryland area as it strengthened efforts to the western Malay Peninsula. Business Bureau, DD News.
Well, on to some more news. Two Indian CEOs have been named among America's most powerful CEOs under the age of 40. These CEOs, according to the list, headed publicly traded companies with highest market value. The Forbes magazine list is topped by Google CEO and co-founder Larry Page. Website hosting company Endurance International Group CEO and founder Hari K. Ravichandran, who is 38 years old, has been ranked 19th, while asset management firm Altisource Asset Management CEO Ashish Pandey, who is also 38, is ranked 20th. Ravichandra's firm has a market cap of $2.1 billion and that of Altisource is $1.8 billion. For the third consecutive year, Page has topped the list. The youngest CEO on the list is 29-year-old Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg, who remains in the second place. Well, parts of Maharashtra and most of central India now look like a hill station in Himalayas thanks to an unusual hailstorm in this part from the past 1 week. The size, spread, intensity and the cause of the hailstorm are all unusual both for the farmers as well as the meteorologists, who say a respite from hailstorms won't come till March 13th.
Unseasonal rains and intense hailstorm along with stormy winds destroyed ready-to-harvest crop in major states of the northern and western region, causing a loss of about 13,000 crore rupees. More than 30,000 villages are affected because of rains and hailstorm, causing damage to 20 lakh tons of wheat crop. The storm comes as a setback, especially to the farmers whose hard work has been ruined, as most of the ready-to-harvest crops, including rabi, wheat, jawar and gram, has been completely destroyed.
एक गांव से आया हूं कि वहां एक 40 जानवर मर गए। रात में इतनी बारिश हो गई कि सुबह 10 बजे तक 1.5 फुट बर्फ के गोले वहां गांव में वैसे के वैसे रहे थे।
At least 12 persons have lost their lives and several others were injured. Most of the domestic animals are also dying since the last 2 weeks due to unfavorable weather conditions. Stormy winds, unseasonal rains and hailstorms lashed areas of Marathwada region.
बहुत नुकसान हो गई, वो काटे नहीं आ रहा, 20-25 कुंटल के नुकसान हो गई, तो अब उसमें कुछ नहीं बचा है।
The administrative divisions of Silod, Phulambri, Vejapur, Gangapur and Khuldabad and the districts of Beed, Nanded, Latur, Osmanabad and Parbhani have been affected. Analysts believe that damage to the wheat crop could be 15 to 20%, which could rise further. Business Desk, DD News.
Well, continuing with the unusual weather, although its March temperature is still low in many parts of the country, the recent snowfall in Jammu and Kashmir and Himachal Pradesh and the winds and rainfall in the plains have led to shivering temperatures.
With the arrival of the month of March and approaching festival of Holi, people expected pleasant weather after biting cold, but the excitement is proving short-lived as weather has played a spoil sport. For the past 3 days, while the hilly regions of North India have experienced heavy snowfall, central and southern parts have been badly hit by rainfall and hailstorm, leading to extensive crop damage and loss of lives. In view of the continuous snowfall for the past 24 hours, a fresh high-danger avalanche warning has been issued for hilly areas in Jammu and Kashmir. Owing to heavy snowfall, normal life has been thrown out of gear in Jammu and Kashmir. Schools and colleges have been closed, and Jammu-Srinagar highway is also closed. Incessant rainfall has suspended the chopper service to Sri Mata Vaishno Devi Cave Shrine from Katra Base Camp in Riyasi district of Jammu and Kashmir. In the national capital Delhi, incessant rainfall is constantly affecting commutation of the residents of the city. The Met Department has said that the rainfall is due to western disturbances and its effect will continue to be witnessed in the coming 3 to 4 days.
24 घंटे और अच्छा बारिश होने की संभावनाएं हैं पूरे उत्तर भारत में, चाहे वो पंजाब हो, हरियाणा एनसीआर हो, चाहे पश्चिमी उत्तर प्रदेश हो। यहाँ सभी जगह लाइट टू मॉडरेट रेनफॉल होगी। पहाड़ों में खासकर जम्मू कश्मीर में, हिमाचल प्रदेश में, उत्तराखंड में अगले 24 घंटे बहुत अच्छी बारिश होगी। कहीं कहीं तो हैवी स्नोफॉल या हैवी रेनफॉल की भी वहाँ संभावना है।
Life is out of gear in Himachal Pradesh due to continued snowfall and rain. Vehicular traffic and power supply was disrupted due to heavy snowfall on higher reaches. Most of the standing crops have also been damaged in the region due to snowfall. Crops have also been damaged tremendously at Hisar in Haryana, Fatehabad, Sirsa and Bhiwani. Loss is also reported in many villages of Vidarbh in Maharashtra due to heavy thunder showers and hailstorms. The region is also facing fluctuating electricity due to hailstorm. Standing crops like wheat, chana, kapas, onion and various vegetables have been destroyed due to this unseasonal rainfall. At least 12 people were killed and crops in over 1 lakh hectares suffered damage due to unseasonal rainfall and hailstorms that have lashed Andhra Pradesh. As many as 1,204 houses were damaged due to hailstorms or thunder showers and 1,856 livestock lost. Bureau Report, DD News.
Well, some news from the international sphere. The United States and the European Union have started a 4th round of negotiations towards the world's biggest free trade deal. So what are the chances of a ceiling in the deal anytime soon? Here's a special report.
It would encompass almost half the world's economy and potentially generate an extra $100 billion in output on both sides of the Atlantic. The US and the EU are starting a 4th round of negotiations towards the world's biggest free trade deal. The two already trade around $3 billion in goods and services every day. And with the Eurozone economy barely out of a 2-year recession, EU governments see the deal as the best way to create jobs. But in the States, President Obama's attempts to speed up the deal have faced resistance from members of his own party, with many skeptical about the benefits of the free trade.
It's quite notable that Congress has declined to give President Obama fast-track authorization. The issue of free trade actually remains toxic, both for Republicans and Democrats. And I actually think it's unlikely there's going to be any tangible progress ahead of midterms later on this year.
Public support is crucial, as the European Parliament and the US Congress must ratify the agreement once it is made. The talks initially enjoyed a warm reception when they were launched last summer, but European consumer and green groups say a deal letting firms operate freely might compromise standards. The talks have also been overshadowed in recent months by widespread distrust of Washington after the US bugged EU offices and the German Chancellor Angela Merkel's mobile phone. Business Desk, DD News.
Well, science fiction becomes a reality at the CE BIT, the world's largest tech fair in Germany. This time around, humanoid robots are the star attraction, along with new ways to protect authentication. The fair was opened by German Chancellor Angela Merkel and the British Prime Minister David Cameron.
He moves, he talks, and likes to express his personality. Roboy is a so-called humanoid that can actually show emotions.
Roboy is a little more humanoid than most humanoids. Not only did we imitate shape and look of a human, but also the functionality. We especially tried to build in muscles and sinews into the joints instead of motors. We want to understand how it works.
Roboy was developed by a team run by Raphael Hostetler at Zurich University. He is designed to help doctors and scientists better understand how the brain and body interact.
Roboy is supposed to become a platform for doctors to train. They're supposed to diagnose illnesses that Roboy will simulate.
Where there's man, there's generally a dog. This is Charlie, the world's first robot with sensitive feet and a flexible spine. He was created by the German Research Center of Artificial Intelligence.
We have put special focus on the sensor feet, where we have integrated more than 60 sensors whose data we pre-process right there, so that just the results are sent to the main computer.
Data security is another key theme at the CeBIT Tech Fair in Hanover, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg. Tento Technologies is a UK-based firm.
We've come up with the idea of the Tento card, which uses actually visual cryptography. It takes an image and it splits it into two. One of the images we print on the card here, and the other image we put on your PC screen. So when you're logging in, you use your Tento card to overlay on the image on the screen, and it reveals a 4 or 5 character password that is then like a second factor of authentication.
250,000 visitors are expected to attend the fair, and the 3,400 exhibitors represent 70 countries. Many of their products would have seemed like science fiction a few years ago. Roboy has every reason to feel special. Business Desk, DD News.
Well, I would like to have that robo dog anytime soon, but now the time is over. But you can give us your feedback. If you have any query or suggestion, do write to us at teamddbiz@gmail.com. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.